Osho is a very interesting character. I knew quite a few sannyasins, Irish sannyasins. And sannyasins were his people who followed him. And there's a very good documentary about Osho, or about, not really about Osho, it's about the ranch that he had in America. He had a big, what do they call it? Place in India, in ashram, that's it. And he had another one in America. And the documentary is called Wild Wild Country, and it's mostly about that. And they don't portray him very well. But it's a very interesting story about dynamics and gurus, and I'm not wild on gurus, the whole idea of gurus at all. And it's a good example of why gurus are not a good idea. And why I say the time of the guru is over. It was coming to an end around his time in the next 10 years or so, 10, 20 years. But yeah, the time of the guru is over, the time of the spiritual teacher is over, the time of the spiritual master, all that's all over. We're all just helping ourselves, helping each other home now, as Ram Dass used to say. But this is an interesting thing, and like every lovely person who's drawn to the spiritual life and feels moved to write about it and say things about it, they've got their blind spots like everybody. So Osho had his blind spots, and they all have them. But you know, someone who's interested in the spiritual life, someone who gets enlightened, they have a lot of good things to say. And if you just take it that everything they say is fantastic, then you get into trouble. Because they'll always be their own unconsciousness. But this thing that he says is good. And a bit shocking, and a little bit disturbing to let it sink in. Because basically he's going, everything that happens is beautiful. The play, he's not saying the world is beautiful. It's the play of life is beautiful. It's so beautiful that the only response you can have to it is laughter. Now, when I hear that, I have to kind of run that through me a bit to see, do I agree with Osho? And some part of me does. Some part of me kind of gets it. And I think it's the part of me that gets the cosmic joke. And for me, the cosmic joke is that we take everything so seriously, particularly ourselves, which is amazing because, you know, like I'm 60, you know, 61 years ago, 62 years ago, I was not taking myself seriously at all. It never even occurred to me because I wasn't around. Okay? Not that I remember. I mean, I've been told about reincarnation, past lives, all of that kind of thing. And I don't want to get distracted into that. But just me as I know myself to be, you know, John Dalton. No, 62 years ago, couldn't have cared less. But now, whoa, now I take it very seriously. All my little worries, all my little concerns, all the little things that I do, I don't do, things that people said to me, people think that they didn't say to me, all that stuff. God, I take that stuff so seriously, like everybody else does. And that is funny. That is funny, and we forget. We forget how transient all of this is, and we take the wrong thing seriously. We get caught up. We get caught up in the 101 things. Because they're very compelling. It's very understandable. Very understandable to get caught up in them. And it's fine too, but then every now and then you get a little reminder like this little quote from Osho. Because Osho, I think, was a very jolly fellow. He seems to be. He told a lot of jokes. A lot of his satsangs were just telling jokes. Filthy, filthy jokes. The dirtier the joke, the more he liked to tell it. You know, because he was one of the His thing was he wanted to shock people. He wanted to shake them up a bit. He wanted to break psychic and energetic structures in their systems. And one of the ways he did that was through telling jokes. Really, as I say, filthy jokes. But I think someone who appreciates humor in a way gets the cosmic joke. That's why I have such a soft spot for comedians, because they get the cosmic joke, whether they get it consciously or not. But that's this idea of observational comedy. What's that mean? That means they're just looking at things and seeing how stupid they are, how stupid we are, how ridiculous we are. The things that we get high up about, how we take ourselves so seriously. So this idea of that the whole play of life is beautiful, not what's happening in the life, but the whole play of it is so beautiful that the only response is laughter. I think he's talking about the cosmic joke, and that's certainly how I hear it. And every time I hear, I'm reminded of the cosmic joke. It always happens when I am particularly caught up in what's going on, when I am taking everything very seriously. And then it's almost like I get a little elbow in the ribs from a friend to kind of go, would you ever calm down? Would you ever relax and take a breath? This is all going to be over way sooner than you think. It's going to be over now, because it's going to be now. As I've said this a good few times. Even if you die in 50 years, that'll be now. You're still going to die now. So you may as well enjoy the now, and just calm down, let the shoulders drop. Don't take yourself too seriously. And if you do take yourself too seriously in your worries and whatever, just think about a couple of years before you were born. You weren't serious about it then. And maybe you won't be serious about it again after you're not here anymore. So I appreciate that from Osho. And yeah, have a look at the documentary, it's not bad.